Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. Now, if you haven't lived under a rock, Bitcoin is basically a decentralized blockchain technology that currently is worth around just a little over $9,000, maybe $100. And basically what it is it's a way for people to make payments in a very decentralized manner. You don't need approval of governments or major corporations to make your transaction. And I actually honestly believe that that Bitcoin may at some point in the future be worth around $100,000 per Bitcoin. And the major reason for this is, when you think about it, the first big move up in Bitcoin was retail traders. These weren't big institutions. Institutions completely sat this one out. They thought that Bitcoin was a fad. Even I thought it at the time. I thought this is a joke. But I think that they're carefully reviewing this, and a lot of big corporations do want to get into blockchain and they want to get into Bitcoin, and they haven't really started stepping up their purchase of it yet. But once they do, that's when you have a really humongous amount of money that will end up in this space. And I think it's interesting to see it. There's a lot of reasons why people are getting interested in Bitcoin. Number one, the government is spending money and is not backed by anything. So when people say, "Oh, Bitcoin is crap, it's not backed by anything," it's just mumbo jumbo. Well, so is the dollar, so is the euro, so is all the currencies. It's mumbo jumbo. So it could be better mumbo jumbo than other ones, because at least it's based on code, and maybe you can inflate the numbers away like you can with regular currencies. And the second issue is that we're starting to get to a point where these giant corporations like Visa, they seem to think that they can block people based upon their political views or because they're unpopular. They just ban people from their network. And I think that even people who are not banned are going to start getting more fearful that, hey, maybe I don't really want to be with these mainstream kind of ways of doing transactions, because this is ridiculous. I need their approval. If I don't say the right thing, they'll just kick me off. Bitcoin, they can't kick you off. Everybody is welcome to use Bitcoin. Doesn't matter who you are, and there's no one who's a gatekeeper. So I think that this kind of decentralized way of doing things is the way of the future, especially because people don't believe in government officials anymore. They don't believe in these big corporations. And it kind of is like the original purpose of the internet, to be decentralized. No one has any control. And you're going to see that this kind of theme running and moving with social networks too. If you own stock in Facebook or Twitter, I would recommend selling them. And there is a reason why. These systems are very closed off. It's like the old AOL. Like, you have to be on the same network as your friends in order to communicate on there, rather than the open internet where you send an email. It didn't matter what network you use, you just send a message. And that's an amazing thing. You can go, whether you use Gmail or Yahoo or some other system, everything was interconnected. You could send messages to each other. Now you have these closed systems. And I think that's a temporary mistake that people will realize was a huge error of judgment. And that's one reason why blockchain, the thing that is the cornerstone of Bitcoin, basically is the future of not only currency, but it's the future of all of these other things like social networks and probably other applications too. So let me talk about just a moment about what the hell blockchain is. Basically, blockchain kind of is a system where it's decentralized, where transactions are logged on all of these computers all over the world. So it's not as though we're taking away power from one group to really have the power to override people and to make decisions like that. So I think the power of blockchain is the fact that it is so decentralized that you're taking away the power of these bad actors to really impact people in a negative way. And I think we're seeing the problem with too much centralization. Silicon Valley has gone very arrogant. They believe that they should abuse their market dominance to unfortunately harm consumers. So that's one reason why I think Bitcoin is actually the way of the future. So 100,000, that's not that hard to believe that it will reach $100,000 per Bitcoin. That's only 10 times what it's worth today, and that would indicate that it has a market cap of $1 trillion. Think about it. It's a currency that would only be one. For it to go up 10 times would mean that all the Bitcoins around the world would be worth about 1 trillion total worth. I don't think that's too hard to believe, considering that it would actually work to some extent as a currency in some transactions. So one could even say that right now at around 9,000 or so, that's actually kind of cheap. That gives a Bitcoin a market cap of around 110 billion, I think. So I think that's something to consider. I'm not saying that you have to buy it or don't buy it, but just consider it. So you have to smash the like button. It really helps with the Google algorithm. And subscribe. I'll see you in another video.